What's up and welcome. Now, normally I'd say welcome to the Grant Burton Film and Television Show, but quite frankly, I hate that title. The fact that it's got my name in just makes me look like I'm so vain and narcissistic and self-obsessed, and I don't like that one bit. Also, it's really generic. So, I'm not going to say that anymore, and instead, I'm going to say this. Hello and welcome to Screen Blitz, the film and TV show giving you all the top news, views, reviews, previews, opinions, features, and more. I'm your host Grant Burton. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @the_Grant Burton, or you can go to thoughtsbygrant.wordpress.com for all of my written reviews. In the meantime, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed, gave me a thumbs up, followed me on social media, shared this on social media, helped me build my audience. Leave comments, questions, concerns, pieces of advice, and more down below, and enjoy it. Otherwise, don't. If you don't enjoy it, don't watch it. I don't really care that much. So, yeah. Screen Blitz, new name. Didn't like the Grant Burton film and TV show, so I changed it. When I first set out to do this, I was well aware that it would be very rough and bad to begin with, and slowly I'd be changing things, tweaking little bits and bobs. The camera angles changed gradually over time. Now the names change, the set keeps changing, and I'm going to continue doing that. I always knew the first episode would be very different from, say, the 10th or the 50th or however many I end up going. So hopefully this show gets better and better each week. With a new name, that's a start. But enough of all that. We start each and every week with the news. The first story this week is from Julia Alexander at Polygon. HBO's new owner, AT&T, has some ominous sounding plans for the network. AT&T has stressed the need to compete with streaming giants like Netflix, including increasing the amount of shows produced by the network. John Stankey, who now oversees HBO, stated, "We need hours a day. It's not hours a week and it's not hours a month. We need hours a day. You are competing with devices that sit in people's hands that capture their attention every 15 minutes. A newfound focus on streaming content and increasing engagement with subscribers means AT&T will invest in HBO. More series are likely to be made as a result, but with an added interest in streaming. There's a chance that more series and films will be HBO Now exclusives." We don't get HBO Now or HBO here in the UK, so I'm not sure how relevant this will be to us. All HBO shows are available to buy on like Amazon or DVD and Blu-ray, but otherwise you have to have Sky Atlantic to view HBO shows. So the problem with this is that HBO for a long time has been like the big one in terms of network and cable providers in America. They are the ones that produce the best quality driven shows around, and I'm worried that this might lead to more quantity over quality. It's not really what HBO is known for, so why would you go in and change a good thing? Now, I don't know how well HBO is doing financially or in terms of viewing figures or anything, but it seems to do pretty well with the likes of Game of Thrones. So the big thing as well is the streaming market is getting really big, really competitive. Netflix, Amazon, Hulu in America, they're all over the place now. CBS All Access, there's a lot of competition, and eventually they're all going to stack up and you're going to have loads of streaming subscriptions on your bill instead of just a basic cable subscription or whatever it is. And you're basically just replacing one thing for another at that point. Also, there's already way too much content to consume now. I try to watch all the big shows as they come out, or at least give them all a go, and it's hard. It's hard to keep up with everything. So a lot of shows now, I watch one episode maybe, and if it doesn't catch my interest or attention, I'm done. I don't give it a second chance, because I don't have that opportunity. That being said, if you're going to make some changes to HBO, with the big show Game of Thrones coming to an end, presumably next year, now might be a good time to do that. Give yourself a fresh start. But yeah, it is worrisome as to what that might entail. Next story is from Denise Petsky from Deadline. Sacha Baron Cohen is writing and directing a new half-hour satirical Showtime series called Who is America? It will explore the diverse individuals from infamous to the unknown across the political and cultural spectrum who populate our unique nation. So, first things first, it's good to have Sacha Baron Cohen back on TV. It's where he kind of started things off with like Ali G and so on. I don't really know what this show is. Is it a sketch show? Is it like a desk-based show where he's just like taking the mick out of things? Is he playing a character? I don't know. I think since this news broke, there has been something where he's came out as a character, I think, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, I don't know much about this show. Sounds good. I'm gonna check it out. If you like Sacha Baron Cohen, I know his humor is very unique and certainly not for everyone. So might be worth checking out. Charles Barfield at the playlist says Margot Robbie confirms Birds of Prey begins production in January 2019 and it'll be rated R and directed by Kathy Yan. So, right. Margot Robbie, great as Harley Quinn. Probably the best thing about the Suicide Squad film. And there's not a lot of good things about that film. So, the concern here is Birds of Prey. At least in the comic books, Harley Quinn is not usually associated with them. So I hope they're not going to just shoehorn Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn into this. Maybe she'll be a villain in it. Maybe it'll be more of a supporting role. I don't know. But a lot of Birds of Prey enthusiasts and diehard fans might have a problem with this. And I completely understand. Although I do want to see Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn again. I'm a little surprised it's took them so long to get Margot Robbie back as Harley Quinn. Or any of the cast of Suicide Squad. I know the film was really badly received. I hate the film, but the cast was predominantly good. A few little iffy bits here and there, but mostly good cast. Also, they've made a note to say that Batgirl's not in the film, which is really surprising because she's one of the main characters, if not the main character, in the Birds of Prey comics. So that's really unusual how they're basically replacing the main character with Harley Quinn. That it sounds like anyway. And yeah, DCU fans aren't gonna like this. Next up, this is to follow up on a story I reported on last week, maybe the week before, I can't remember. But Boris Kitt from the Hollywood Reporter says Billy D. Williams is back as Lando in Star Wars Episode 9. So yeah, not much to say here. I said my thoughts on this a few weeks ago when it was rumoured. It's about time. Lando deserves to be back. I hope they're not bringing him back just to kill him. If you think about it, him and Chewbacca are now the only surviving members of the original cast, with the exception of, say, C-3PO and R2-D2. So, yeah, don't kill them all off. Although that is spoilers for The Last Jedi, so I'm sorry if you, for some reason, haven't seen that. But yeah, I expect Mark Hamill will be back, just he won't be alive. Next up, also from Boris Kitt at The Hollywood Reporter. This guy's been pretty busy this week. There's another story from him coming up this week. So, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker origin movie is a go at Warner Brothers. So, Joaquin Phoenix, good actor, an unusual guy. Yeah, I remember that one year where he just grew a beard and became like a weird, like hippie character. Yeah, I don't really know what was going on there. I know it was for a movie in the end, and no one was really sure. So, the interesting thing about this is his age. I don't know exactly how old he is, but he is on the older side. I'm guessing around 40s. For an Origins movie, that is old, because it means by the time he becomes Joker, he's going to be a much older version of the Joker. Now, of course, Jack Nicholson was also an older version, and Cesar Romero wasn't a young'un, but typically the Joker should be a little younger than this. But yeah, it's a minor thing. This film's being produced at a lower budget, so that's going to be interesting. Much more grounded, much more gritty. They're saying it's more of a crime story than a superhero film, so that's great. Martin Scorsese's attached to produce it, so that's something. I'm not quite sure how involved he'll be. It's not usually his sort of thing to be involved in a film like this. And here's the big problem. The big problem is the whole idea of the film. A Joker origin story. Joker is one of the greatest comic book characters ever made, one of the greatest villains ever made, but every time you explore his origins, it ruins the character. There have been some decent, even maybe good attempts at doing it, the Killing Joke, for example, but you explore this character's origins, it gets rid of the mysticism around him, it makes him less interesting as far as I'm concerned. I do not want to know where the Joker came from. I don't want to know how he became the Joker. I like him just to show up and be this weird, deranged guy. So I've got my doubts about this film, just the way it is. Mike Fleming Jr. at Deadline says Neil Blomkamp is to direct a new RoboCop film for MGM titled RoboCop Returns. The original film's writers are producing the film, and Justin Rhodes, the writer of the upcoming Terminator film, is rewriting their script that was originally wrote to be the sequel to the original film. So what's unusual here is Neil Blomkamp was going to do pretty much the exact same thing but for the Alien franchise. He was going to do a sequel that ignored Alien 3 and Resurrection, and now he's doing a sequel to RoboCop that ignores RoboCop 2 and 3. I think that's all there is in that series. I'm not an expert on RoboCop, never really been a big fan. So hopefully this time he actually gets a chance to do it. The last film he done was Chappie, which was quite a while ago now. He went off and done his own short, independent, low budget films that were sci-fi orientated. Some of them were pretty interesting. So he's been on the lower end of things recently. So this might be a return to something big for him. What's interesting is Blomkamp's not writing this. On everything he's done before, he's had some sort of involvement in the writing process, but here there's no mention that he's writing it. So that's interesting. Maybe he'll actually get in and supervise on the script, rewrite or something, I don't know. And hopefully for RoboCop, because the last RoboCop film really wasn't very good, hopefully they make it a bit modern, a bit more fresh. I don't want them just to come out and repeat what's already been done, or to pay homage to what's already done. They need to change things for this to work, I think, because RoboCop is dated. Right, we're getting on to the big news topic this week. The 2018 Primetime Emmy nominations. I've been debating how I'm going to do this because there's a lot to get through here. So I'm going to go through each major category, telling you who's nominated, what's nominated, and I'll give you my thoughts about that. Like I said, they are the major categories, so I am missing out some because we'd be here all day otherwise. So, the big one first. Outstanding Drama Series. Nominated are The Americans, The Crown, Game of Thrones, The Handmaid's Tale, Stranger Things, This Is Us, and Westworld. So, nothing too surprising here. A lot of people really like The Americans, so I'm happy for them that it's been nominated for this. It did end this year and it got really good reviews, so not too surprised that it has been nominated. There are some big omissions here though. Twin Peaks, not here. Maybe that should be classed as a limited series, I don't know. But I'm a little surprised Twin Peaks hasn't been nominated in any of the major categories, so that is surprising. The Good Fight as well. That's a really good show, but it's been overlooked, possibly because it's on CBS All Access. I don't think it gets all that much attention on the wider scale of things. And one of my personal favourite shows of all time, Orange is the New Black. Now, hear me out. The recent season does not deserve a Best Drama category nomination. So I'm not saying it should be nominated this year. But ever since it's been classed as a drama, it has been overlooked. And it's interesting how Orange is the New Black is now classed as a drama because it's an hour long. And yet a new show, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, is being classed as a comedy, and it's tonally very similar to Orange is the New Black. It's an hour long as well. So why does that get a pass and Orange is the New Black doesn't? I'm just saying. Outstanding Comedy Series. Atlanta, Barry, Blackish, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Glow, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Silicon Valley, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Oh, for the record, I think Handmaid's Tale is going to win the Best Drama category. So, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, brilliant show, one of the best shows in the past year. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. Really thoroughly recommend that show. It's brilliant. and I'm glad Barry got a nomination. In this category, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel has to win, plain and simple. But again, why is that classed as a comedy and Orange is the New Black isn't? I think that's a little unfair. And it's not as if Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, it's not as if the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel isn't funnier than Orange is the New Black, because they're both comedy dramas. They mix and match it. So, no, not doing that. Wrong thing. Outstanding lead actor, drama. Jason Bateman for Ozark, Sterling K. Brown, This Is Us, Ed Harris for Westworld, Matthew Rhys for The Americans, Milo Ventimiglia, This Is Us, and Jeffrey Wright, Westworld. I'm really happy Jason Bateman got in there for Ozark. I was really quite surprised by Ozark. It's not the best show ever made, but it was really thoroughly enjoyable and pretty well made. And Jason Bateman was really good in it. He also directed a few episodes, and I think he's being nominated for his directing as well. I don't think he's going to win this. I think Ed Harris will probably get it for Westworld, because this season in particular, he was really good. There's one episode towards the end of the season that focuses entirely on him, and I thought his performance was really, really well done. Outstanding lead actress, drama. Claire Foy for The Crown, Tatiana Maslany, Orphan Black, Elizabeth Moss, The Handmaid's Tale, Sandra Oh, Killing Eve, Kerry Russell, The Americans, and Evan Rachel Wood, Westworld. So another omission here is Claire Danes for Homeland. No mention of her here. I don't think she was nominated last year either. So that's interesting, because she's really good. But I think Elizabeth Moss has this. Next up, supporting actor, drama. Nikolai Coster-Waldau for Game of Thrones, Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones, Mandy Patinkin for Homeland, David Harbour for Stranger Things, Matt Smith for The Crown, Joseph Fiennes for The Handmaid's Tale. So, Nikolai's got his first nomination for an Emmy, I believe, so good for him. I'm not entirely sure if he deserves it, but it's a good performance. I'm just surprised he actually got the nom, so he won't win it. I'm glad Matt Smith's finally getting some recognition. I think he's a really good actor. I thought he was brilliant as Doctor Who. He's my personal favourite Doctor, and in The Crown he's really good too. So I'm also a little surprised Joseph Fiennes got nominated. Again, he's not bad, he's just not the scene-stealing, attention-grabbing actor that in The Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, I think Handmaid's Tale, Joseph Fiennes probably like on the lower end of things that comes straight in my mind. But yeah, I'd love Matt Smith to win this, and I think he's got a really good chance. Next up, supporting actor, supporting actress, drama. Lena Headey, Game of Thrones, Millie Bobby Brown, Stranger Things, Vanessa Kirby, The Crown, Anne Down, and that should be Anne Dowd for The Handmaid's Tale, Yvonne Strahovski, The Handmaid's Tale, Alexis Bledel, The Handmaid's Tale, Vandy Newton, Westworld. Is it Anne Down or is it Anne Dowd? I think it's Anne Dowd. But yeah, anyway, Anne Dowd's brilliant. She's lovable, yet sinister and dark, and yeah, just a really good performance. Every time she's on screen in The Handmaid's Tale, she's like, just really like, has a way of getting your attention and focus on her. But the other one from The Handmaid's Tale is Yvonne Strahovski. Really good actress, really glad that she's been nominated. Good for her. Don't think she'll win. I don't think she's got a chance against some of the big hitters yet. I think this is Vanessa Kirby's year. I said last week's episode she's going to make it big. And yeah, if she's already won, what is it, the BAFTA or the Golden Globe? I can't remember. But she's already won a big award for this already. So yeah, she's winning this Emmy here. Also, an omission here is No Uzo Aduba. I think that's her name, from Orange is the New Black. She's been nominated pretty much every year for her role as Crazy Eyes. And no, not this year. Outstanding lead actor, comedy. Anthony Anderson, Blackish, Ted Danson, The Good Place, Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Donald Glover, Atlanta, Bill Hader, Barry, William H. Macy, Shameless. So, outstanding lead actor in a comedy. It's interesting how Ted Danson is up for this. Great actor, great performance, but he is not the lead actor in The Good Place. He's very much a supporting actor in that show. So I'm not sure why he's been put in this category. But yeah, like I said, great performance. I really like Ted Danson, one of my favorite actors. But I think Bill Hader for Barry should be the one that gets this. Outstanding Lead Actress, Comedy. Pamela Adlon, Better Things. Rachel Brosnahan, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Alison Janney, Mom. Issa Rae, Insecure. Tracy Ellis Ross, Blackish. Lily Tomlin, Grace and Frankie. So no Ellie Kemper from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. That's a little surprising. Her role in that is just really energetic and fun and enjoyable. I really like her. So yeah, I think in the past she has been overlooked for this before. This isn't the first time she's been overlooked. So yeah, disappointing. But maybe next year if they consider how this season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt has been split in two. Also, no Alison Brie. That's really surprising. She's the heart and soul of Glow, the main character of Glow. So yeah, I'm really confused by why she hasn't been awarded here. But Brosnahan has to win this. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel was brilliant and she's just amazing in it. So yeah, this is hers all day. Supporting Actor, Comedy. Brian Tyree Henry, Atlanta. Henry Winkler, Barry. Louis Anderson, Baskets. Alec Baldwin, Saturday Night Live. Kenan Thompson, Saturday Night Live. Tony Shalhoub, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Titus Burgess, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So in this whole comedy category, you'll notice there's no mention of Modern Family anywhere. That's pretty big. Every year Modern Family gets nominated for like the best comedy or like one of their main actors, usually Julie Bowen or Ty Burrell, but no, absolutely nothing this year. In fairness, the show has dropped in quality quite a bit. It's went from being a great show to just alright. I think it is coming to an end next year with the upcoming season. So Saturday Night Live has 2 nominations yet. I'm always a little iffy with Saturday Night Live being up for comedy awards because I think it should have its own category as like a variety show or a sketch show or something. But yeah, if you're going to put it in here, I do kind of understand it, I just don't think it's quite right. Henry Winkler though in Barry was brilliant. So yeah, give him that. Next up is Supporting Actress, Comedy. Zazie Beetz from Atlanta. Laurie Metcalf, Roseanne. Betty Gilpin, Glow. Aidy Bryant, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Saturday Night Live. Leslie Jones, Saturday Night Live. Kate McKinnon, Saturday Night Live. Alex Borstein, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Megan Mullally, Will and Grace. Not much to say here. Again, more Saturday Night Live nominations. I think Kate McKinnon is brilliant. Yeah, she's really funny, really just likable. I really like her. I want to see her in more films and more TV shows outside of Saturday Night Live. So hopefully we'll get that happening soon. But Betty Gilpin and Glow, really good. Also, it's the only show here that I've actually watched, except for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So I can't say too much about this category. Outstanding Limited Series or Movie. The Alienist, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, Genius, Picasso, Godless, Patrick Melrose. So, no Lumen Tower here. The Lumen Tower was a really good show. I wrote a review of this, which nobody read. So, it's actually one of the best reviews I've ever wrote, I think. So, really check it out. It's about the lead up to 9/11. It's really well done. Read my review if you're that interested, and check out the show. It's on Amazon Prime here in the UK. Really recommend it. It's only 10 episodes long. Each episode's about 45 to 50 minutes. So yeah, check that out. The surprise has been overlooked. Gianni Versace was alright. I liked that. It wasn't as good as The People v O.J. Simpson. But yeah, good show. I think that's going to win here. No American Horror Story this year. It has been shut out in recent years because the quality of that show is declining. And The Alienist is a little surprising. I don't know much about the show, but I remember it not getting a great reception when it came out. Maybe that's changed over time, I don't know. But yeah, I'm a little surprised that's been nominated here, especially over The Lumen Tower, because that was a really good show. Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited Series or Movie. Antonio Banderas, Genius, Picasso. Darren Criss, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story. Benedict Cumberbatch, Patrick Melrose, Jeff Daniels, The Lumen Tower, John Legend, Jesus Christ Superstar, Jesse Plemons, Black Mirror. So I'm glad Jeff Daniels has been nominated for The Lumen Tower. He's really good in that. But I think this is Darren Chris's all day. His performance in Gianni Versace was brilliant. I thought the show was just alright, but he was really, really good in it. Outstanding lead actress in a limited series or movie, Jessica Biel, The Sinner, Laura Dern, The Tale, Michelle Dockery, Godless, Edie Falco, Law and Order, True Crime, Regina King, 7 Seconds, Sarah Paulson, American Horror Story, Cult. Again, I don't know much about this section. Michelle Dockery was fine in Godless. Haven't seen any of the others, so I can't judge it, sorry. Outstanding supporting actor in a limited series or movie, Jeff Daniels, Godless, Brandon Victor Dixon for Jesus Christ Superstar Live in Concert, Finn Wittrock, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, Ricky Martin, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, Edgar Ramirez, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, Michael Stuhlbarg, The Lumen Tower, John Leguizamo, Waco. So Jeff Daniels has 2 nominations this year for 2 different shows. I think he's probably going to win it for Godless. He was good in Godless. And Michael Stuhlbarg for The Lumen Tower. Michael Stuhlbarg is a actor. You might not know his name, but you'll know him. You'll have seen him in films or TV shows over the years. He's a really underrated actor that I think is just waiting for his big blowout performance. And yeah, really good actor. Just keep an eye on him. He's been around for a while as well, so maybe he's had his blowout, maybe he is just going to be delegated to supporting roles all his life, I don't know. But yeah, good actor. Outstanding supporting actress in a limited series or movie, Adina Porter, American Horror Story Cult, Letitia Wright, Black Museum in Black Mirror, Merritt Weaver, Godless, Sarah Bareilles, I think that's right, Jesus Christ Superstar Live in Concert, Penelope Cruz, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, Judith Light, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story. I was surprised the Assassination of Gianni Versace is getting so many acting nominations because besides Darren Criss, I wasn't blown away by anyone else in the show. So Edgar Ramirez and Penelope Cruz in particular are actually barely in it. The show doesn't have much to do about the actual assassination of Gianni Versace. It's more about the individual that killed them. So yeah, I'm a little surprised it's getting all these nominations. And yeah, I don't really have an opinion on this category. Maybe Penelope Cruz, but Merritt Weaver was also good. I'm also wondering now if I introduced this show as the Grant Burton Film and Television Show, or if I actually said that this is called Screen Blitz. If I didn't, this is called Screen Blitz, the new name for the show. Outstanding animated show. Baymax Returns, Big Hero 6, the series, Bob's Burgers, Rick and Morty, South Park, The Simpsons. So no Archer this year. I know the reception of the recent season has been a bit mixed. The Simpsons, I'm surprised, is still getting nominated. As far as I'm concerned, that show's gone really downhill. It should have ended years ago. It's ridiculous that it's still going on. South Park returned to form this year. It's abandoned its serialized storytelling for more procedural storylines again, although there are some serialized stuff in there. So I thought this season was an improvement over some of the recent ones. But Rick and Morty, even though I think it's overrated, this is the big show right now. I think that's going to win. Outstanding Children's Program. A series of unfortunate events, Alexa and Katie, Fuller House, Star Wars Rebels, The Magical Wand Chase, a Sesame Street special. So I love a series of unfortunate events. The second season in particular, I liked how it mixed things up a little from the first season, which was getting a little repetitive at times. Star Wars Rebels, I liked it. It's a good show. I have mixed feelings about some of the stuff they introduced this season. So if you don't know, they introduced time travel into Star Wars this season, which I'm really against. That time travel has no place in Star Wars. So I won't forgive them for that. And yeah, I can't judge this one too much because I've never seen any of the others. But yeah, it'd be nice if a series Unfortunate Events gets it. Next up, this one's from Boris Kitt again at the Hollywood Reporter. Black Widow movie finds director in Kate Shortland. Kate Shortland. Director is best known for the film Law. The search lasted half a year and they met over 70 directors. They wanted to get a female director, that was their priority, but they did consider male ones. Scarlett Johansson pushed for Kate Shortland to get the job, which is probably why she got it in the end, and the film is rumoured to be set before the original Avengers film. So it's about time this film was made. I've wanted a Black Widow film for years. She's probably the most significant female character in the MCU, but she's always relegated to secondary roles. Scarlett Johansson's a great actress. So yeah, I'm glad it's happening. I hope it's going to be like a more grounded spy thriller type of film. That would be pretty cool in the MCU. And yeah, speaking of Scarlett Johansson, last week I reported on her role in Robin Tug, a film where she's supposed to be playing a trans man, and turns out no, she's dropped out of the role. Whether this is because she's seen sense and she knows that she's not right for it, or because she's worried that this will affect her reputation if she continues this, because she got a lot of flack for this role, for being cast in this role. So yeah, glad she's not taken on the role. She can do better, and hopefully they get someone more suitable. Next up, Nancy Tortiglione, or Tortiglione, at Deadline says Downton Abbey movie gets greenlit. The original cast is set to return for a summer start. So this has been rumoured since Downton Abbey, the TV show, ended. And I love the TV show, really good. I don't necessarily need a film. I'm pretty happy with how things wrapped up and how things finished. But yeah, we're getting a film. Why not? It's been long rumoured. I'm glad to see the characters come back. We're not going to get everyone back, I don't think. Some of the more minor characters probably won't be there. But we know this can work as a movie because a lot of the Downton Abbey TV show episodes were feature length anyway. So this could just be a case of like what they did with the Star Trek films sometimes, is where the films just feel like a little longer, more expensive versions of the TV show. So I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Moving on to trailers now. There were two significant trailers this week. The first is Orange is the New Black Season 6. I love Orange is the New Black, and I mentioned it a little earlier. This is one of my favourite shows of all time, maybe. Yeah, the last season wasn't great, but I think this has some of the best characters and best writing in any TV show ever made, as far as I'm concerned. So, going by this trailer, it looks like there's a new location featuring new characters. They're going to a full-on, like, Supermax prison, it seems, maybe. So, hopefully, after the Season 5 storyline, which was all a riot, playing out over, I think, like 3 or 4 days, hopefully it'll return to a more standard, typical storytelling method in this season, because it was a mistake for the last season. Although I did like the last season. So, one of the things I noticed about the trailer is there's a significant absence of certain characters. Laura Prepon, for example, is missing, and this wouldn't be the first time that Laura Prepon might not be in the entire season, because she has recently just had a baby, so I get a feeling she might have been pregnant while filming for this was going on, so she might not have actually been in the majority of the production for this season. So it could be like season 2 where she's only in a handful of episodes. Maybe not though, I don't know. Also, going by this trailer, some of the comedy in the trailer looked a little wacky and sillier than usual. Orange is the New Black can be a very funny show, but I like it when it's a bit more grounded, a bit more realistic. So hopefully they don't go too far into that. You don't want another instance of them running around chasing after some mythical chicken, do you? Next up, Extinction. This is a new Netflix film. It looks alright, but this is a typical trailer that shows you everything that happens in the film, from beginning to end. We know that there's this guy, he seems to be having weird dreams, turns out he's predicting the future, and then all of a sudden there's an alien invasion. That's pretty much the film, right there and then. They'll probably save the day by the end. But with it being a Netflix film, I've noticed it looks like a blockbuster. It looks like it's really action-packed with special effects all over the place, so that's interesting. But yeah, it does look a bit generic as a sci-fi film. But yeah, Lizzie Kaplan's in this film. I like her. I want to see more of her. Yeah. Moving on now to reviews. I watched Glow season 2. I really like this show. It's really good. It's not the funniest show ever, but it is a comedy drama, so it doesn't have to be. The cast is brilliant. Alison Brie is really good in this show. Betty Gilpin is probably the standout this season. She has the most like emotional and impactful moments of this show, and in many ways, she's the main character this season. She goes through quite a lot. Let's put it that way. I don't want to get into spoilers. Mark Maron seems to be taking a bit of a back seat this season, although he does come into it again more towards the end. That's not to say that he's not in the earlier episodes, because he is. He's just not featured as much or as in such a big role. One of the things that I wasn't too keen on this season was the attention to the wrestling, because it's very well known that the women in this show are not wrestlers. Well, some of them actually are. One of them is, as far as I'm aware. There might be more, but they're not wrestlers. They haven't undergone full wrestling training, and it shows. The fact that this show puts so much emphasis and so much attention on the wrestling, it's a little distracting when they're going in there and they're just wrestling badly. I'm a little surprised they haven't cut some of the stuff out and haven't drawn the attention away from how bad some of the wrestling is. But yeah, they're doing it, so I'll give them that. But it's just not. If you're a big wrestling fan, you're going to be really distracted by how bad it is. One of the things I really liked is the attention to detail this season. It's set in the 80s. It looks and feels like the 80s. There's like a cinematography is brilliant because it's all grey and gritty and like really standard, but then all of a sudden they're wearing these costumes and the colors just pop, and it really does a good job of making it feel and look like the 80s. So yeah, the big negative of this season is that there was one episode I just really did not like, and it was a fake episode of the actual TV show they were supposed to be making. So Glow is a fictional account that's more of an inspiration from the original Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling TV show. And the problem with this one episode is that it feels like a side story. It feels like completely unnecessary. And because it's honing in on all the nostalgic feelings for 80s TV and comedy and wrestling of the time, it feels dated. The comedy in this episode just does not work, and it's very lowbrow, cheap looking. It just feels completely out of place, and I don't know why they decided to put a full episode of it in this season. But yeah, Glow Season 2 on the whole is a good show. I do recommend it. Next up is Ladybird. I've been trying to review this for the past like 2 weeks, but I just haven't got a chance. So I watched it last night, and I enjoyed it. It's pretty good. It reminded me a lot of The Edge of 17, which is a film about a girl who's like a teenager on the verge of becoming an adult and having clashes with her parents and so on and so forth. That's pretty much exactly what happens here. I don't think Ladybird's quite as good as The Edge of 17. They're both comedy dramas, but I think Edge of 17 is much funnier. But then again, I don't think Ladybird's like trying to crack jokes every 5 minutes or anything. Not that The Edge of 17 was, but the film's really well acted. Saoirse Ronan and what's her name? Laurie Metcalf, both brilliant in their roles. Everyone else was just fine. The boyfriend characters, Timothy Chalamet and the other guy, were fine. But yeah, this is Saoirse Ronan's film, and she's brilliant. I like how she plays this character who's significantly younger than what she actually is. But she's doing it in a way that feels believable and realistic. She's managing all the anger and the frustrations of someone growing up in that period, and someone who's wanting to escape and discover who they are. That's basically what this film is about, trying to find out who you are. So I really liked how it handled that. Also, the film's just pretty well made. It's well paced, well directed, and well written as well. Everything feels believable, and felt like I was in this world as if this was real. So good on Greta Gerwig, who directed it, and I think she wrote it as well. Yeah, I'm fairly confident she wrote it as well. So good on her. She's done a good job. And that is all I have this week. So this is Screen Blitz now, not the film and TV show with Grant Burton. And thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. There are going to be some tweaks coming here and there because this is an ever-evolving process. I'm wanting to make it the best, most entertaining show I possibly can. Not sure how well I'm achieving that right now, but hey, I'm trying. And if you've liked it, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed. The more subscribers I get, the more I can invest into this. Once I get 100 subscribers, I can actually get a custom URL, which I think is silly how I've got to wait to 100, but oh well. And yeah, subscribe to me, give me a thumbs up, share this across social media, help me get a wider audience and more views. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at _Grant Burton, or you can go to forcedbygrant.wordpress.com, and I'm also going to be streaming sometimes on twitch.tv/the_Grant Burton, but I wouldn't go there just yet because I'm not quite prepared for it. I haven't got the headset or the microphone set up properly. So yeah, this is Screen Blitz, a weekly film and TV show. Leave comments, questions, concerns down below. I'll get to them, maybe be featured in the next episode. Until then, though, I'm Grant Burton, and I'm out.